GamerDan, what's happening, man?
Hey, Happy New Year, or at least in 5 seconds.
Yes. Yeah. Detonation, Guy Fawkes. That's what it's about, my man. I don't know where you were when this happened.
Yeah, fresh, clean slate.
Yeah, 2024, man, was finally here. We had a good Christmas. How was your New Year celebration?
Hope everyone out there had good Christmases, had fun, played lots of games, and is ready for the new year. It should be a good one. Last year was a good year for games. We had some ups and downs, but I thought it was a good year.
Definitely. I feel that yeah, definitely some noteworthy blunders and point like you were mentioning on the last Christmas, which is very happy. But generally speaking, I think there's a little bit of last year. But so next
I can't
year
hear you because the bells.
all right, that's enough of them bells, jingle bells and New Year bells all over. All right, people, the year started, and I thought I'd jump into a special video today on a channel called Side Scrollers. Some of you may know this and know their political leanings. That's not what this is about. This is just gaming news. And this guy's on the Side Scrollers was talking about what a guy called Craig on Side Scrollers, in case you know him. I'm subbed. He's sad. It's sad thinking about Miyamoto retiring. Now, apparently, it's been a rumor of that. See Miyamoto retiring. I was thinking, if that happens, oh my god. So I was thinking,
It's a lot to talk about.
yeah. Well, I guess we should. I guess we can just jump. It's a 7-minute video, actually. I thought we should just jump in and give our thoughts before we. I mean, gosh, I mean, don't do it, Shigeru. I mean, we already lost the voice actor of Mario. You can't.
Yeah,
Oh well.
but
Yeah. So
that's it's just inevitable. Let's watch the video and then
I don't know.
we'll up.
yes, do it. Oh my god, I got double speed. Sorry, turn off.
I don't know. I like when that day comes where Shigeru Miyamoto retires. I will be a sad boy. Shigeru Miyamoto. This is a guy that I've always admired. I've loved his games. He is a creative genius in being able to take his experiences and bring them over to video games. Obviously, the story behind Zelda is that it was inspired by him walking around his little village and exploring and stuff.
Caves.
And he takes all these like really creative ideas. And the thought of Shigeru Miyamoto retiring or dying is devastating to me as an adult and as a child. It's like, it's crazy. Like, because I think as soon as Shigeru Miyamoto moves on from Nintendo, either through retirement or death, Nintendo takes a big step back. I think he's a driving force in that. So the question is, how long will Shiggy be around at Nintendo? Which I saw this headline and I thought, whew, that's good. As Shigeru Miyamoto currently has no plans to retire just
he's confirmed
yet.
it. I've been hearing rumors.
He is thinking about who I can pass things on.
That's what I'm saying.
In the future,
you need a successor.
Which means the end is in sight. He is 71 years old, right? So obviously it's pretty crazy to think about. So Miyamoto said in an interview that he has no such plans just yet and is instead thinking about the day I fall over. Speaking of obviously death. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. More so than retiring, I think about the day I fall over. In this day and age, you have to think about things in 5-year time span. So I do think about who I can pass things on to in case something does happen. So there you go. He added, I'm really thankful that there's so much energy around things that I've worked on. These are things that have already gone out into the world. They've been cultivated by other people who have been raising them, helping them grow. So in that sense, I don't feel too much ownership over them anymore, which I think that's kind of an interesting statement. The idea that this guy who, Mario, Zelda, Pikmin, you go down the list, he's been attached to it, and he's like,
I can see that. Like as a maybe, I don't know, I feel like those are iconic franchises, but if it's for me, like making music, I only like the most recent thing I did. Like the most recent thing I did is my favorite thing.
Oh my god, dude, the meeting's gonna end in 10 minutes. Let's pause.
You know, like I don't know. I feel like I want to hear. Sometimes I want to write for other people, hear people.
Okay, ready? Sorry, we'll be right back. In fact, why don't we let this thing play? Because it's only got 10 minutes. And
then, let's play this thing out, and then we'll
come back. Yeah, okay. Yes.
My raps. I want to mix. Like I feel like it's just evolution of a creative. I feel like being attached to you got to kill your darlings. You know,
at a certain point, you just put a gun in the mouth of your creations.
Yeah, I mean, because if I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you can. I don't know. Rappers, like in music, rappers they overstay their welcome all the time, and then it becomes like terrible. So I don't know. Maybe he just.
Well, so here's my counter to that: is that Shigeru Miyamoto has done very little wrong during his time in the video game space, right? And he started 40 years ago doing this when he was in his 30s, and now he's 71, and nobody bats 1,000. Nobody is perfect. Nobody hits 10 out of 10 threes, right? But I think he's had about as close to a perfect career as you can possibly have, and being about as well regarded as you can possibly be, keeping his nose out of trouble, and being like this wholesome, wonderful face of video games, which I think he's like everything that's right. And he may be a horrible person. He legitimately, he may be like the worst person in the world. He may beat kids and do horrible things, but it's never gotten out, which I think is like the most fascinating thing about it. And his public persona is outstanding, and the fact that he's grown with literally his entire adult life, from his past his formative years and from his early 30s all the way to now his senior years, has been spent making this medium spectacular and inspiring others. I mean, literally countless people to enter the video game space, enter the entertainment space, and do what they love. And I don't know, when that day comes where Shigeru Miyamoto retires, I will be a sad boy. And I'll also be a very pessimistic boy when it comes to Nintendo.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Do you trust his ability to choose a predecessor? Or no, not predecessor. Is it predecessor?
Successor.
Someone comes
Successor
after him. Successor, yeah. Do you trust his ability to do that?
Yes, I do. But the thing about successors is oftentimes they fuck things up.
Yeah.
And they don't have the same vision that the original creator did. Hence what you're seeing at, major companies like, I don't know, Disney.
You can look at Lord of the Rings for that.
Right. How many times has something been handed off to somebody that, whether it's either through literally handing it off and appointing a successor, or an acquisition of something, and it just totally shit the bed, countless times. And it being Nintendo being a Japanese company, I think helps it a little bit. But I think that the amount of goodwill that Shigeru Miyamoto has he's a god. This guy is a walking, talking video game god. And what he says ultimately,
arguably the GOAT.
I don't care if you're the CEO of Nintendo, CEO of Sony, Microsoft, or I don't care if you're Bill fucking Gates, right? If Shigeru Miyamoto comes up to you and says, "This is what I want in the video game," you say, "Okay, yes, sir," because he's done it and he's done it right. So, he's the one that I always look to and be like, "Wow, that's spectacular." And I'm glad to see that he's not retiring anytime soon. Also joining us now, the one, the only, Carolyn. How are you?
Who are you? Oh,
hello.
Great to see you.
Good to be here.
Labs didn't say anything.
Yes.
What's up?
Any thoughts on Shigeru Miyamoto having no plans to retire just yet, Kara?
Just let him die in Nintendo. Don't give it to anybody else. Let him stay there for as long as he absolutely freaking wants to.
Hey, Shigeru!
At a certain point, there's no reason to push him out by any means.
So should they end the franchises though? End Donkey Kong and Mario?
No,
no,
stupid.
I think you give people an opportunity to fuck it up.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Because ultimately, what will happen is people may fuck it up, and if they do, it'll only lift Miyamoto up that much more.
All right. So everybody, I'm just gonna stop this video just for now. And we're gonna come back because this thing, Zoom's gonna knock us off. Bastards. All right, catch you in a moment. It's gonna sign off and we'll be right back.
Talk soon.
Yeah. All right, we're back. Sorry everybody about that. I should have logged in with a different Zoom account, one that has the time limit dealt with this private thing, as GamerDan let me know, as a limit, and it screws me over. So I better stop doing that. But GamerDan, just during the little break, he was dropping some gems about this whole discussion. GamerDan, care to reiterate?
So the whole video was talking about Shigeru Miyamoto and just kind of blowing smoke up his ass. Yeah, we don't want him to retire. He's an exceptionally talented individual who has done so much for gaming, but his work in creating games is kind of over. He's no longer a creator, he's a producer. He created Donkey Kong. Great. Created that whole that the system and the idea, and he helped make that game, and that game was brilliant. It was just the right game at the right time. Then he worked on Super Mario, he worked on Legend of Zelda. Yes, drawing from his own personal experiences. We love that. But he's no longer making games. He's not the guy making the latest games. He's had no hand in the actual production side. He's at the creating side of it. He's a producer now. He's moved on to like the grandfather tier. He's evolved up to the next stage of businessman. He's got his hand in a lot of pots. He's a consultant, but he ain't making them. Hell, we mentioned Donkey Kong. Yeah, he made Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was a good game, but Donkey Kong wasn't really good until Donkey Kong Country came along. And Donkey Kong Country, he had no hand in that. They took Donkey Kong and they made a whole new game. It was a bunch of British guys. Made it rare. They took and they made an entirely different style of game. Something Shigeru wasn't on board with, you know?
Yeah. Dude, we should jump. Oh man, I'd love to jump on the Guru Larry's take on that. 5 times Shigeru Miyamoto was an asshole. His video.
Yeah, he has been an asshole, and he has in the video's words, he has shit the bed a couple times. But it's disingenuous to say that he's a bad producer or a bad creator. He's not. He's done amazing work, and he has worked on some of the best games in these respective series. He is an absolute asset, and he should work until he doesn't want to, or until he can't, until he's ready to go. Just give him anything he wants, because the man knows what he's talking about. But it's foolhardy to think that Nintendo will be lost without him.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think Nintendo will fall. But Shigeru Miyamoto, touch wood, enters the next dimension. Yeah. When he goes to the next dimension, his games will have the usual artist death boost. People will go back and want to play the games. Hell, Nintendo might release the Shigeru Miyamoto collection, releasing a lot of his classic games on a single overpriced cartridge. But Nintendo won't go under. Nintendo has been functioning without him for a fair while. It's true.
Years, man.
Yeah, it's true that he mentored the guy who created Pokemon.
Satoshi.
But in so much, but people have made some kind of arguments about this over the years. Like, Shigeru Miyamoto had a hand in Pokemon. No, he mentored how game design to the guy who created Pokemon. He didn't work on Pokemon.
Oh yeah, no way, no.
No,
I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, of course.
For a long time, he's been more of a public figure. He's been more of the figurehead of Nintendo. He's been the face of Nintendo. For years and years at E3, it was Reggie Fils-Aimé, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Sakura Iwata, the two CEOs and the developmental head. They came out. They were the faces of Nintendo, and he's been a face for Nintendo for a long time. And I think that we have learned from him. We have taken his dream and expanded it, and Nintendo have done wonderful things using his work. He should be the face on the Game Award. When he dies, they should give the Miyamoto. The Miyamoto is the Oscar.
A bit like the
it should be a little Miyamoto. That's just so that out of reverence for his impact on the medium. But I don't think he is the be all and end all. I cannot, in good conscience, say he is Nintendo, because Nintendo has gone on to great heights outside of him.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't want him to die. I don't want him to go. I want him to keep working. I want to keep gleaning as much information, as much genius out of him, wring him dry. But he's not the only one there working hard. He's not. It's not a one-man show.
Of course.
So to say that Nintendo would fail without him,
that's nonsense.
No,
it's absolutely not. You know what?
Well, who his successor could be, that's in his hands. He's the one who has to decide who's going to pick up what he's doing and continue it.
Yeah, dude, definitely. Yeah. Everything you said, I agree with 100%. And Japan. Before you get Japan, I guess 2024 maybe a year of even politically. I don't know. loss of the old god, if you will. I think right now what
But,
you know,
it's going to happen.
yeah,
The old guard will have to pass on the reins, and we're going to have people, preferably who came up internally, people who we can say, "Hey, look at the things you've done. We trust you. This is
mm,
the new guard."
right,
But
right.
it's you always acknowledge the old guard. It's,
Of course.
once in a lifetime,
Yeah,
the old guard truly die.
yeah. It's funny. My wife and I were watching The Crown yesterday. It's a bit of it. Watching, I guess, the Tony Blair character, trying to persuade the Queen to give up some of the vestiges of traditionalism, and to which the Queen considered, but she decided against it. And of course, the aspects. I mean, and as far, at least as far as that portrayal is concerned, I respect that there are aspects of our roots that we cannot expect to have a future without. That's to say, we have to know where we're coming from. And yes, the same thing with the well, sorry, who was the other guy you mentioned with Reggie Fils-Aimé, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Sato? What's it?
Iwata.
I
He
always
was
forget
the
his name.
old
Yeah,
CEO.
he was he was the head of course Nintendo America, but he was actually the successor to Yamauchi, the guy,
Mm.
and Mr. No again, Larry cracks me up with his coverage of him. Also, he's a very ruthless dude. He fired all the other Yamauchis in Nintendo, and he didn't play games, only Tetris, I believe. And he owned a gay baseball club. He never went to a game. He's clearly all business, but he passed on to a good successor. I believe there are people in every field that would be, well, significant field that would be a good successor. Maybe I'm being too liberal there, but I definitely feel that there's definitely a successor waiting in the wings who
Mm.
who would actually be a good pick. I know that there are. Now here's the shady thing, because like you were saying the other day, the person who filled in, who came in after, who is a successor to Reggie Fils-Aimé, you said he's been making some not so Japanese executive decisions, I imagine, and you may just get some dork what's his name, Craig here has mentioned, maybe trying to take the company in a totally other direction, if you will. Again, going on the thing I was talking about, the Crown earlier, trying to take things into a new direction that have no understanding of where we're coming from. But Nintendo is too important of a company. You know, something odd going on with Disney. It's funny they mentioned Disney here, where you think that people would know better to let the whole thing just keep going off and off a cliff over and over again. But I personally, I'm a bit of a conspiracist, if you will. I think that something is going on to try, and it's like they're trying to ramp up something to make people annoyed with it, to the point where when they remove it, nobody will object against it. I have to put more thought into that, to kind of fleshing
The
that.
whole class in the new Coke strategy,
Yeah, that's
or
what
the
yeah,
new
that
Slurm strategy. Reduce an inferior product. When you bring back the classic product, people will pay more.
that's what I'm thinking. That's something is going on.
I just think it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, you know me in my theories. I even had a theory about when it came to the. If any of you remember out there about the Sonic movie, I even had a thought. Could they have possibly made Sonic so obviously ugly on purpose initially, just so that people would get? So did they fan bait people? Did they get people to get interested in it, just so that when they fix it, people would be all crazy over it? Jim Carrey, of course, I loved him in that movie as Robotnik,
Oh,
but
he was flawless, no notes.
yeah, yeah.
It
But that
was
being said, when it came to
perfect.
the actual Sonic, I'm thinking that they played a giant, massive PR stunt to get people talking about it, and just to get
It's a
everybody to
nice idea
mm,
if we didn't have, if the designers, it wasn't announced that the designers and the editors, the CG working guys had to crunch just perpetually.
mm,
They had
but
like no time off. They had to work 12 hours a day for 6 days a week,
mm,
just constantly in order to change the film in time for the release. Because the trailer didn't drop too far before. It
mm,
wasn't like an early trailer. It was like the first trailer came out not too far from the release. And people
which
went, "We hate it." And they went, "Okay, we'll change it."
mm,
And a bunch of people had to suffer
right.
for it.
That being said, it sounds like one of those. It makes it, in my opinion, that's possibly an even more plausible. It makes even the theory might sound even more plausible that when it sounds all the more realistic, like this, you have the perfect excuse. It sounds like it just could. Now that means that I may be wrong. I'm just thinking that sometimes in the industry,
You've got a kind heart. You've got a sweet head on your shoulders. You want to think that the the poor choices were done intentionally. That there was some overarching plan. That they were in control of the situation, and they may have fudged a few things at the beginning, but that was all in aid of something.
mm,
Sadly, I got a bit more of a pessimistic view when I think of executives, because too many times execs who work for larger companies are so far removed from their audience, or so far removed from the people who actually put things into development, like editors and producers, the people who make the material for films and TVs and games, are so far removed from execs that when execs have ideas that make business sense, when you implement them in an artistic sense, it's just garbage. It's all, it's the deluge of live stream of live service games. It's game after game after game produced by companies that are meant to be played indefinitely. You jump on and you play it forever. I can't play every game forever. I don't have enough hours in a day. There are not enough hours in a day. So because there's so many companies all fighting for it, I remember back in the day when every company was fighting for an MMO. When World of Warcraft became massive and a bunch of companies went, yeah, that's the thing to do. And they all did it. And then someone had to sit down and go, no, an MMO is something you play forever. You play it every day and you play it always. You can't play it forever twice or 3 times or 10 times. We can't do that. So, World of Warcraft ended up consuming all of its competitors and leaves their corpses outside of its dungeon to warn others. We haven't had any really big MMOs come out in the past 10 years. We've had a few splattering here and there, but they come along, they get a small following, or they get a bit of excitement, and then they fall off the face of the map. The New World by Amazon, that was heralded as a new generation of MMO, and oh Lord, that was garbage.
Dude, yeah, these are good comparisons, I say. Oh, sorry. By the way,
it's the idea that the executives have a plan beyond the business plan.
Right. Yeah.
You want them to have a understanding of their field, but oftentimes they're hired from outside. They don't hire. You don't get people being hired internally working their way up. That's why I like Shigeru Miyamoto. He was in the trenches.
Yes.
He knows what's like to develop, to put the time and energy in, to watch the technology evolve, and to perpetually have to be keeping up with both technology and cultural trends and what's memeable. But he worked his way up and he became a brand ambassador. He became president of distribution, or president of the public face of the company, the representative director, and he did really, really well. He's a guy who made it good. He put the work in, he did good work, and he made his way up. And I want to see people like that. It's like a meritocracy. Hire internally. Exactly. Don't hire externally, because otherwise you get a bunch of execs who don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. You said that's it. It's funny that because this news story just jumped into my feed, and I was thinking, that's something that I think deserves some thought. I mean, I can go on and on with regards to Studio Ghibli and Miyamoto, and for that matter, it's funny he can be a bit of a misery. Got sometimes sometimes he's I remember I think he's a bit sensitive, let's put it that way, and some people don't share his particular vision, especially with his relationship with his son Goro Miyamoto, who made Tales of Earthsea. I was like, all right, this guy's a anyway. But Shigeru, now again, Shigeru's in the same camp in some regards when it came to, if anybody's out there, just long story short, my understanding of Shigeru Miyamoto, watch that Guru Larry episode. 5 times Shigeru Miyamoto was an asshole, and yeah, I think you'll see at the time when he was dealing with Rockstar.
Rockstar. My example is basically Star Fox 2 and Star Fox 0.
Yeah, oh my god, Argonaut! Like, are you kidding? It's like, and they apparently nicked their code. It's like, wait, what? And then to use it for Lilac Wars, Star Fox 2 actually. Something.
Yeah, Star Fox 2 was supposed to be the sequel to Star Fox on the SNES, and he just prevented it from coming out. It was almost finished. It was basically a finished product, and they were like, "No, I'm not happy with this. It's not being released." Then Lilac Wars came out, which is basically a remake, but did well. He just took the code, remade it, and then did all up in 64 glory, and it was beautiful. First game on the N64 that had the Rumble Pack. Oh, yes. The game. Beautiful, oh my god, it was incredible.
Take you away, man.
That game was so popular, so successful that when Wii U was flagging, he goes, "Hey, we'll do it again. Expand it, add some more levels." But he was so set on using the technology and using the technology in a novel way. He said at the time that he doesn't want to make sequels. He wants to make sequel when it warrants it, and by warrants it, where the technology can interact with it in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have no F-Zeros, no new F-Zeros.
Yeah.
It's been sitting on the shelf. People have been begging for an F-Zero for generations now.
Maybe
Gaming generations. Every time a new game will come out, they're like, "Hey, please, please, just give us an F-Zero. You don't have to make it special. Just do a boilerplate game, and we'll be happy. Just give us F-Zero with the new technology." Because Shigeru Miyamoto keeps saying, "No, there's no new way we can address the content.
Yeah.
We don't want a new way. We want the old way. The old way was good. We liked the old way."
What do we do, dude? I'm thinking this is one of the moments when conservatism and liberalism kind of clash. In that, on one hand, I kind of respect his altered approach to game development. That he has a specific vision he's trying to get out there, but at the same time, you're going to end up with people making Rainbow editions of Street Fighter until the company gets the message that we want something different. Just do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
it feels like a bit of an Iron Rand situation. It's my way or the highway. I have a goal, and sometimes that works. Sometimes the goal is a good product, and you have a dream, you have an idea, and you fight for it. You work hard, and you produce it, and it's great. But because you don't collaborate, because you're not drawing upon other people, you're only doing your own way of doing things. It's hit and miss, baby. It's all on you. You have to have a fully formed idea, which is not what games or books or movies are.
Yeah.
They're a collaborative effort. We have a story, and then we polish it and refine it and change it until it is what it will finally be. I mean, have you ever seen the early work from Monsters Inc.? Very different.
Oh,
Hell, Sully isn't even a scarer. Both him and Mike Wazowski work in maintenance. That was like the first draft, but they changed it and changed it and changed it because they listened to each other, they listened to other ideas, and then we had Monsters Inc. Chef's kiss.
This is interesting, dude. Oh, well, so wait, by the way, because of the time that I understand you haven't got much of today, shall we do another story, or shall we wrap it up here, or do you want to?
Let's wrap it up here.
Okay.
But I'd like just to announce, yes, we've finally got the technical side sorted, and we're going to be doing a little beta testing, a little playing around with capturing, and we're ready to start going. So we're going to put up on the channel. We're going to put up a voting system. We're going to put out a couple of games, some classic games, some nice simple games that everyone loves, and we're going to play them for you.
Yes.
You get to see me playing games for the first few months, and then Mad Madik himself is going to be stepping in and showing us how it's done. Yeah. But we want you to vote for the game. So tell us what you want us to play, and just to get the ball rolling. Yes, I tend to play newer games. He tends to play retro games. Yeah, so
definitely.
We'll see how it goes.
We're all about it. Thank you so much, GamerDan, for your time today and your insights, and we look forward to seeing your gameplay also. So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Fun on the fly.
All right, well, in that case, GamerDan, I guess we'll call it a day. Happy New Year to you and to everyone, and we wish you a good week.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy 2024. It's making a good one.
Absolutely. Peace everybody.